Hey there viewers, my name is Torinski and welcome back to another DCSS Sunday. Today we're of course jumping back into the usual, trying to get a win with every species in the game, and where we last left off, we'd gotten a pretty good start to our run with Vampire. There's some issues that we'll be covering as we hop into the run today, but needless to say, finding an early artifact Lagitang is a pretty good way to ensure that you at least get to the middle of the run. And Chaos the boss, first one here indeed. Thank you so much for the good luck. I hope you're having a fantastic end to your weekend here. Always lovely to see people dropping on by, but without further ado, let's get ready to hop into it here. As kind of hinted at, I'm a little bit nervous about poor Bruke here. Because, of course, offensively, we're doing incredibly. We have a plus 12 Vampiric Lagitang, for heaven's sake. But, unfortunately, 8 AC at this stage in the game isn't quite going to cut it, especially since we have to decide where we want to go at the start of today's session. And Snake is a bit scary, for sure. I feel like, in general, we'll be fine. We can just use zombie hands, run away. Fortunately, Naga is slow, so it's not too huge of a deal. The flip side of that is a single Guardian Serpent, and I think I'm just gonna die. So that's not great. Our alternatives are to head to Elf or Vaults. Vaults, or slash Depths, since they have a lot of crossover in terms of what kind of power level you want to be before you head in there, are still a little bit scary for us. We're not doing bad for resistances, but it'd be nice to have at least the first pips in resistance to cold and positive energy here. So maybe Elf is the way to go. We have terrible willpower, but at the very least we can swap over to this Lagitang if we happen to see somebody who we're concerned about banishment as a potential outcome. It's between that or Vaults. Yeah, David, we could try Vaults 1. Vaults 1 wouldn't be horrible. Trying to think, I guess Elf, it's also still a problem that we don't have resistance to cold or negativity. A knight or a death mage is going to be an issue. Is it death mage? What are the necromantic elves called? They might just be necromancers. I'm always getting them mixed up. Oh geez. First decision of the day, and it could be our last, so let's head to the start of Vaults, since it's right here. We'll take a peek down. Maybe just run for our very lives. Fortunately, we have a decent number of consumables at our behest here, ready to throw out if a situation becomes a bit untenable. But I'm nervous today for whatever reason. Shaking in my boots. Seeing already that Centaur Warrior's a problem. I was hoping that the Ironbound Frostheart would either see us or at least just start walking towards us. Unfortunately, no dice. I want to be next to the store. I guess the other potential solution here is to yell. Then at least the Centaurs are gonna have to come to us. I expected more than one Centaur, but maybe it's for the best. Oh, geez, because how would I retreat from this situation if it goes poorly? Short answer, I will not be retreating from this situation if it goes badly, so let's try not to let that happen. This is actually worse that our friend is in the way, because this gosh darn Centaur Warrior is just firing arrows, and look at the evasion on that son of a gun. Just impossible to hit. And so the arrows are coming through and hitting me instead, which is kind of against the whole reason we brought some summoners into the mix here. Do I dare step up? We're looking at 21 potential damage twice. 42, hey. Oh gosh. You were supposed to protect me, Rakshasa. What are you doing? I didn't swap places with you because I didn't want you in the corner. And yet, we have no fog scrolls. we take a quick peek here. What did we have in our draw stack? We have Exile prepared, so that's going to be effective against these units here. Not much willpower to speak of. Do I really want to use it? I guess if we go to description here real quick, I think this is just the first Exile. It is, so we still have another one on deck here. But I think we do have to just act early. Okay, Exile did absolutely nothing. Interesting. Do they have to be closer to me, maybe? Now, if you dodge everything, friend, we're in trouble. Could draw Escape and hope for, like, an Entomb or something like that. Let's do one more peek here real quick. 16 damage plus your longbow. Unlikely that we just straight up die, especially since hopefully a Rakshasa catches one of those. 11 health. Okay, well, Vaults was about what we expected. Let's take a break, get off that stairwell before I accidentally go down. Let's see what Elf looks like this time of the season, shall we? Oh, I knew we'd be struggling at the start of today's session. We just got to the end of the section of the game that you can kind of afford to have lackluster defenses. There we go. Okay, if everyone could come to us. That's not preferable, but I'm still able to reach out and grab some of ya, so it's something. I should have checked. What are the odds that you paralyze me? 24%? It's not great, but we can probably afford one. Or we could potentially kill you. I'd be happy with that too. Be very happy with that. Indeed. Okay, not too shabby here. Zombie hands coming in clutch just when you need them most. And there we go. Jeez Louise, that poor vampire will have some serious PTSD. Already does. I think we've come very, very close to dying to specifically Centaur Warriors multiple times in this run in particular, so not getting over that fear anytime soon. Rapier Defense, or Protection rather, I don't think so, and here we go. This is our first kind of challenge. That Throw Icicle has the potential rather to hit 430 times 2 damage. Brain is a little bit broken. For 60 damage is probably the better way to say that. But if you could all come to me, that would be grand. If I can kill you before you haste as well, that would be fantastic. You're not that much better than a Centaur Warrior. In fact, you're just worse. I can grab you. That's not quite gonna cut it in this economy. And you're beginning to see already what our day is going to look like today. We're gonna throw out an Ice Blast because at least that hits hard. I was slightly worried about that confusion when I was looking at the spell list, but I was hoping it wouldn't be too much of an issue. Let's just blast one more time. And finally, just the Zephyrmancer, which we're actually okay against. That's the only thing that I feel comfortable fighting. Oh gosh, so many elves. Oh, and they've all heard the good word here, so they're coming on over. Oh geez, that's quite the welcoming committee. We could Condenser Vein. What if we were bloodless? Anything open up for us? So we'd gain 2 pips of cold resistance and negativity, which is good. Definitely things that we're lacking in. Vampiric Bite would synergize nicely with our Lagitang. The issue is that we'd lose a decent amount of our maximum health. I think it's like a minus 20% hit. And the big issue there is that our defenses, our flat defenses, AC, most specifically, don't go up, which is a bit of a shame. It's not the end of the world by any means, but definitely less than ideal, I think is fair to say. I'll just throw poison dart at you. I was kind of hoping this knight would come into range of our zombie hands so that I'm not wasting too much mana when we might need it most. So you're definitely the one who gets grabbed, and let's take you upstairs. Perfect. Oh, it's going to be an adventure, to say the least. Can slowly work our way through here. I guess we didn't do a quick check into what we were training up. I think translocations was actually on, and it's just hit the 4 level in the very beginning of the stream here. We were trying some defensive things, which is nice. Definitely, again, I've said it many times, and I'll say it many times still. Defenses is where we're truly lacking. It's nice that Invocations is getting up there. Our destructive spells are going to be incredible when they do hit. The question becomes, where do we want to move, or go moving forward, rather? We could keep training translocations. I believe we had Manifold Assault in the wings, which would be kind of fun with the Lajatang. We definitely hit hard. So between zombie hands and that, we could potentially keep enemies at a distance, which is pretty solid. Unfortunately, not a lot else. Like Olgrup's Toxic Radiance, always a tempting spell, but we don't have Ignite Poison, and I'm kind of looking for things that will allow us to go to Snake. Irradiate, I guess, would get around some of the issues that we have in terms of Guardian Serpents being the scariest thing that we could possibly find if we do make our way down. Oh, regardless, it's not looking good. I think I will train a bit more translocations. We'll see how it affects the cast rate. Unfortunately, we're not great in terms of aptitude. High Priest and a Knight, that's a bad combination. Let's double check. I think you're mostly just smiting. Yeah, we don't have to worry about willpower at the very least. You immediately smite us. So that's just fantastic. Let's walk up here. Okay, nope, they did not track us, apparently. We do have decent stealth, but not something we want to be relying on. Oh gosh, now who knows where they've gone. And yeah, we'll do our best not to forget about the heart of the cards for sure, I believe. Okay, we need to walk next to you so that we can kill you fast enough that Damnation doesn't become a real problem. And the Archer is now my least favorite part of this equation. Is there a way that I can cheese you out a bit? Oh, apparently you'll lose sight of me, no problem. Oh, just the stinkiest of elves cocktail, to say the least. And even more so if they do end up murdering us here. See how it goes. A 7 dagger of dominance? It's something. It's not what we're looking for. Can I even grab these? Okay, I was slightly worried that you might be something I can't grab. Of course, zombie arms do really well against these living weapons, just because their main defense is their evasion, so that's always lovely. Similarly, I'd like to see lots of earth elementals, since the majority of other elementals do not care whatsoever about zombie hands coming out of the ground. Just a real shame. Okay, zombie hands, you're carrying me so far. I just need you to carry me a little bit longer. Oh, geez. That's a lot of elves. Hello, friends. I kind of like being able to hit them all at the same time with zombie hands. This is where potentially training, throwing, and having javelins would be kind of cool. I don't think it's worth it on this character, especially since we'd be dealing with that -2 aptitude in throwing. And we only have 2 javelins to boot. But it's a thought. I feel like I need something else to cast. Throwing a poison dart just doesn't quite cut it in this day and age. But I do get half decent damage, so that's fantastic. And a lot of you, we can reach out and grab you. 2 archers? Now that you do not love to see. definitely grab both of those sons of guns real quick, and then as this knight hastes, we need to start tacking some on there as well. Oh, it's going to be an adventure, alright. We should be okay, at least for Elf 1 here. It's giving us a little bit of time to think about our actions, decide what we may be able to pull off moving forward. +4 Ring of Protection? I think that's going to be an instant grab for me. Finally, get over 10 AC, woo! We're already in the mid-game. But that's at least something, so we're on our way. Brand Weapon, not quite as important. We can always come back for it if we do end up switching away from our Artifact Lagitangs. But okie dokie. Jeez, that's almost the end of Elf 1, hey? That's not great. We'll have to decide where to go from here. We could try out our depths as well, see if it's maybe slightly better than what we saw in Vaults. It's definitely possible. Because there we go, that's the end of Elven Halls. Do I dare? Going down one more? One more shouldn't be too bad. Elf 3 may be asking a bit much of us. I was gonna say we got a shop, which is nice. Unfortunately though, it is a weapon shop, which is the only one that is not especially useful for us. Again, we're sitting in a pretty good spot. Jeez, sir. Do I grab you or do I swing for you? 35% chance to evade us. Let's go for the grab and then a swing, and that should finish you off. Perfect. So nothing too horrifying quite yet, though it's starting to get there for sure. Gonna grab ya. Perfect. And last but not least, Glaive of Protection. That, I was gonna say should be manageable, and then it hit me like that. Oh gosh, and we have a knight coming. Not like this, not like this. Only 15 health. Do I think the grab will stay? Maybe I shouldn't have backed away and I should have just gone for the swing now that I think about it. Well, they're constricted, they have no evasion, so it would have hit. And a +12 does pretty well in that kind of a situation. And yet, now here we are. You, friend, at least can't hit us with your spells yet, which is good. Let's take a step. This does mean that I'm pretty much committing to fighting the knight. Two miscasts in a row, huh? Well, that's a bit of a shame at 3% failure. Oh geez. What do I do now? You've got to be pretty dang close to dead. Unfortunately, you got some evasiveness going on. Exile might not do it. I think we're just gonna go desperate times, desperate measures strategies here, and I'm just going to deal for destruction. Vitriol, please kill them. Perfect. And we changed the knight into a basilisk, and that's beautiful. In fact, 20 damage. I'm tempted to just fight you, but let's play it safe here and run away. No need to get ourselves killed for no reason whatsoever. As there we go, Petrify is coming in, and this time around, we'll just fight you. Perfect. Now I'm hopeful about this book. Please have statue form. That's not quite gonna do it, unfortunately. Still on the lookout. Something that will save us from our horrible fate. Hello, my Zephyr-mancing friend. Slightly more worried about the usual culprits here, the usual suspects as it were. Knights and archers. because these kiddos, no problems whatsoever. At least we're resistant to fire, so that's nice. And then let's go for the kill real quick. Did what I think happened just happen? Why did this archer shoot the knight? Are you okay? Well, that's an interesting strategy if I ever saw one. Maybe not what I would have done in that situation, but maybe you know something I don't. But let's just rack up some poison on you. There we go. We are continuing last week's run. Somehow we're still alive. We did just start for today, of course, but already it's been kind of terrifying. You think technically you should count as 3 viewers as both your birds are on top of the monitor? Alright, I'll add that to the analytics. We'll make sure that your birds are accounted for sure. It'd be rude not to. But okie dokie, let's keep these knights at bay as much as we can. Everyone else can just do whatever they would like. I don't mind making a couple friends. Less so when your summons have joined in. I mean, RSVP kind of had a +1 sort of a deal. You're not supposed to bring your entire squad to these kinds of events, but it is what it is, and I guess you paid the price for it, so I can't be too upset. And we'll just rinse and repeat our slow go in here, our careful crawl through. Okay. Now that's an interesting ring. The Ring of Gusket. Slow can be terrifying and truly horrible, but 3 pips of cold resistance and willpower are both things that we're struggling with. And then back on the negative side, strength -4 gets rid of my dreams of potentially equipping a heavier piece of armor. I'm very hopeful that this armor shop right here will have something amazing that we can slip into, like a +12 ring mail or something like that. It just has to be light enough for our weak body to inhabit. I mean, the robe could be something good. I guess it's 136 gold. That is fairly cheap. We'll also buy the glowing gloves and the hat. This means we won't be able to afford that ring. Would I be okay with that ring? We'd have to switch off our protection ring, so we'd lose 4 AC again, go back into the dark days. Let's just start here. We can always save up some more money for the rest. It empowers each of its wearers' blows with a small part of their magic. I don't think I've ever gotten Gloves of Infusion. Unless the Mage Maulers count? Because they're basically Infusion but cranked up to 11. +2 hat. And yeah, that robe's not quite gonna cut it. It's interesting, but we do not want our AC to decrease at any stage in our journey here, if possible. I've also been carrying around these Swamp Dragon scales. That was mostly for the poison resistance. I think it's safe to throw those away for now. And let us put on our new clothing, a nice dapper hat, and some Gloves of Infusion. I guess we'll keep trying at least for a little bit. Do you have any friends? You do kind of have a friend. Oh, there we go. Now you woke up. Perfect. Paralysis on those Sons of Guns is terrifying when you also have another enemy next to you, but on their own, it's generally not too bad here. Oh, and I can Zombie Hands Water Elementals. For some reason, I assumed that their body wasn't quite corporeal enough for any such things to work, but hey, I'll take it. And let's definitely make this archer come to us so we can at least start vamping. Oh, those Gloves of Infusion are gonna get me in trouble. It's like, we still have mana to Zombie Hands. I don't see how it could possibly go wrong. And thanks, Crackety, I hope we win too. I'm optimistic, despite the lack of defenses and the near-death scenarios that every vampire that I pilot has to come into contact with multiple times over the course of their lives. I'm optimistic, I'm hopeful. How many runes have we got right now? We've got 1 rune. We've got our Swamp rune. Spider, or not Spider, but rather Snake, is slightly terrifying for me right now. It is a terrifying branch at the best of times, and surprisingly enough, that does not get better at the worst of times. I know, shocker, right? But okie dokie, let's was kind of hoping to dance around so that this priest has to come right next to us, because they're kind of being a pain in the rear, just smiting us from beyond, but hey, I guess it's their loss at the end of the day here. And a weapon shop is not what we were hoping for, the Great Mace of Upheaval. It's interesting. On another character, on another day, maybe, just maybe, we would consider it. But unfortunately, not quite going to cut it this evening. As for the rest of you, coming to close quarters combat with us, we're doing okay. Scroll of Fog, I definitely would like to pick up. So let's take a peek here. Javelins could maybe go. Oh, Staff of Poison can go now that we have poison resistance. Charming has probably fallen off for the most part by this stage in the game, so we could think of getting rid of that. Scroll of Noise, sure. I always tell myself we're gonna do some fancy play with those, but usually doesn't end up panning out too often. Let's buy more heal wounds while we're here. 2 potions of haste at least gets on the shopping list. Same with 2 potions of cancellation and resistance. That's a pretty nice shop if we're able to afford those at some stage in our journey. I love this vault entrance with just all the wackiest daggers you ain't ever did see. Let's bring all of you kiddos down here, and that should be much more manageable. Perfect. So Elf 2, not horrible. We're doing okay. Again, baby steps here. We're just going to keep crawling our way forward one at a time. I guess that's why they call it dungeon crawl. And hopefully, maybe just maybe, that will work out. Oh, I was attacked by a cutlery set. An entire set. Unfortunately, this one I guess didn't quite have a fork available, but yeah, not exactly ideal. The cutlery coming out of the drawers is one of the scariest beasts one can encounter here in a fantastical dungeon. Okie dokie, made some noise. All of our new friends will start heading this way. Come face to face with some zombie hands, reach out and grab ya. Abracadabra. And third stair, let's take a quick peek and see how it's looking. This one we might need to run away from. In fact, let's do so before things get worse. Archer and Knight both staring us down from across the room. Not exactly ideal. I guess we could head back to the first stair we went down. That puts us in proximity, but again with enough space to potentially throw these hands. Let's give it a shot. Any of you coming down? Okay, one of you coming down. Anyone else want to hang out with the cool kids over here? Again, both these two at the same time is terrifying. Let's step out of range of the knight. Perfect. And I'll just blast you to finish things off. Pyromancer shouldn't be too bad for us though. Perfect. Oh jeez. This feeling of panic is not going away. Which is maybe good. Definitely a lot less likely to fall victim to hubris if you're just constantly on the verge of dying. I don't think so. I'd actually love to run across Roxanne. It'd be a horrible fight to have to get through, but if we got through it, that's statue form right there. So one can dream at the very least that maybe, just maybe, we'll get some fortune coming our way. What mob is it that banishes you to the abyss? Does it just happen and you're confused? So there are quite a few. It was just a regular mob and not a unique. Off the top of my head, most common ones that I come across are like wizards. Have banished me quite a few times. The majority, or not the majority, but one of the elven wizards does too. I believe it's the one in the red robes. Is that the sorcerer? Again, I can't keep the elven names straight. It was an orc. Was there a unique nearby? Because all I can think of that would generally be an orc is El Roca. Definitely can banish you. But as for mobs, I'm probably just forgetting something. A lot of the banishers are, I'll know them when I see them, and even that is sometimes a bit optimistic of a take. Could just be a distortion brand too. That is actually probably the better guess, Ramalama. I always forget about distortion brands. See, anytime you get hit by distortion brand, usually it will just blink you away, but it always has a chance to send you spiraling into the abyss, unfortunately. I normally just get lucky, so it's at the very end of a fight. Oh, didn't actually realize we're on Elf 3. Whoopsie daisies, let's not head into the thick of it yet, shall we? I'm okay if you teleport yourself, but I'd kind of prefer you died. Perfect. Thank you for accommodating my request. That was probably it. There were a lot of weak orcs, so you're confused. I can imagine. It's definitely a tricky thing to recognize. Are you still alive in the abyss, or has it all gone horribly wrong? Because sometimes you just have to cross your fingers and hope you get lucky enough to find that early exit out. Run away from things until you get the opportunity. But it's a rough shot, no matter what. Oh, you died nearly immediately? Oh no, I'm sorry to hear it, Cocktail. F's in chat for Cocktail's character. May the next one work out for you, though. No unscheduled trips to the abyss. Not somewhere you want to end up on your vacation when you don't expect to. Okie dokie. I don't think I want to fight the end vault of Elf. Those master archers alone are gonna shred me to ever live in bits. We would actually do okay against blade masters. Zombie hands, again, MVP for that kind of a situation. But the majority of those casters, a few annihilators and a master archer, and I think that's where we would be forced to throw in the towel. So, what do we do instead? Vaults 1 is in a nasty spot with those centaur warriors. They could have cleared off by now, there's a chance, but no guarantee. Do I dare just going for Snake and seeing how it goes? At least we're up to slightly higher AC now. 15 is a lot better than we were. We've actually, we've doubled our AC since the start of this evening. Huh. How about that? That's pretty awesome. We also have 5 blink scrolls. I'm pretty sure we had 2 to start off. So while I've been complaining this whole time about how rough this run is and is going to be moving forward, apparently I've just been getting the nuts when it comes to luck. Well, let's try out Snake. Hopefully don't immediately die to a guardian serpent surrounding us with some nasty constrictors. And here goes nothing. Fortunately, with all these weak snakes, we can very much kite them. You always kind of can, and then when you add zombie hands into the mix on top of our move speed, should be in a pretty decent spot. Zombie hands will also help a lot with those more evasive snakes, for sure. Don't go crazy, 2-3% fails just happened. That's true, maybe it's all just balancing out. It's perfectly balanced, as all things should be. But here we go. This is what our zombie hand strat was made for, because I do not want to fight a Naga warrior face to face. At least if I can help it. Fortunately, this is one of the enemies that we can kind of just kite till the end of days. Until we run out of open space, I guess, which is a possibility. Not something we can completely discount. Apparently the warrior lost our scent completely. Here I thought snakes had pretty good senses of smell, but I guess can't all be perfect like me.